students, welcome to my live teaching learning session of Principles of Macroeconomics BECC 133. Today is your fourth session of this macroeconomics paper. Today you will do investment function and investment multiplier. Under this unit, we will discuss about investment function and investment multiplier. What is investment and what are the determinants of investment? And what is the difference between induced investment and autonomous investment? Next topic will be, which will discuss about this concept of multiplier and working process of multiplier. Now, what is investment function? Investment function isolates the relationship between the level of income in the economy and planned investment. Investment means the net addition in fixed capital assets like building, machines, equipments, plant and machinery, inventories, etc. Investment play very important role for the development of the economy. Without investment, we can't break vicious circle of poverty and we can't generate employment opportunities for the country people. Investment is very necessary for the development of all the economic activities. So investment function shows functional relationship between level of income and planned investment. Or in other words, we can say that the amount which a firm would like to invest, that is called planned investment. And it remains constant. If other things remaining constant, then planned investment will depends upon the level of income. As well as income rises, our saving will increase. And due to increase in savings, investment will also increase. Here two determinants, factors of investment are, first is the market interest rate and second is business expectations. These are the determinants of investment which we assumed that it remains constant. So if investment depends upon only the level of income, then these factors should remain constant. So this is the investment function which isolate the relationship between the level of income in the economy and the planned investment. There are so many types of investment. Investment may be planned investment. Investment may be unplanned or unexpected investment. Next investment type is gross investment. Another type is planned investment, net investment, induced investment, autonomous investment, public investment, private investment, financial investment, and real investment. There are so many types of investment. One by one, we explain these different types of investment. First of all, the real investment refers to the net addition in fixed capital assets like buildings, machines, equipments, inventories, etc. Real investment always generate employment opportunities and increase the output level of the economy. Real investment give benefit to whole the country people. That's why real investment is very important for the economic growth and development. Next type is financial investment. Financial investment is that investment in which we invest our money income in paper title documents or in securities like shares, bonds, debentures, etc. This type of financial investment give benefit to only those person who have the possession of these paper title documents. But whole economy will not get benefit from this financial investment. But real investment give benefit to whole country people. Next type is gross investment. Gross investment is that investment in which depreciation or consumption of fixed capital value is included in it. If we invest money in any fixed capital assets and spend some money on maintenance expenditures in form of maintenance expenditure or wear and tear loss, that will be called depreciation, and that depreciation will be included in the investment, then it will be called gross investment. If we deduct depreciation from gross investment, then we can calculate net investment. For example, if we invest 50 lakh rupees on a building, that will be called net investment, because in this investment there is no depreciation value is included in it. But if we include depreciation value, then it will be converted into gross investment. So this is the basic difference between gross and net. Depreciation is included in gross value and depreciation is excluded in net investment. Next type is public investment. If government invest money on development and non-development functions of the economy, that will be called public investment, which main motive is to provide social welfare, not earn profit. And private investment is that investment which is made by private entrepreneurs. And the main aim of the private entrepreneur is to earn maximum profit. Next type is planned investment. Planned investment is that investment which a firm would like to invest or would expect to invest, which firm invest money with well planned manner. And unplanned investment is that investment in which firm invest money without any planning or without any expectations. So this is the investment function which shows the relationship between the level of income in the economy and planned investment. Next is meaning of investment. The term investment means purchasing of different kinds of shares and stocks and investing capital in such activities as likely to yield income. That is called investment. In Keynesian theory, investment is used in a main term of real investment. Real investment is the net addition made to the existing capital assets which results in an increase in employment opportunities. Thus, investment is the expenditure incurred for real capital formation. In real capital formation or in real investment, we include three types of items or three types of money income which we spend on investment. For example, buildings, if we invest our money on buildings of new machines and capital equipments, that will be called real investment. If we spend money on the construction of new buildings, that will be called real investment. If we invest money in inventories or increase in stocks, that will be called real investment. So investment which always give benefit to whole the country people, that is real investment. And this real investment is emphasized by J.M. Keynes in the theory of employment, income, and interest. Next is the simple theory of investment. In the simple Keynesian model, investment is independent of national income. If investment is independent or not dependent on the level of income, that is called autonomous investment. Autonomous investment is that investment which is made by government or public enterprises for the benefits of the whole society. Its main aim is to provide social welfare, not to earn profit. That's why this type of investment does not depends upon the level of income. Either income rise or fall, investment remains constant and curve will be a horizontal line. And the investment function will be a horizontal straight line when investment is autonomous or constant. Next is the basic difference between induced investment and autonomous investment. This is the another two types of investment, and the most important types are these two types, induced and autonomous. Induced investment is that investment which depends upon the level of income. Induced means motivated. Induced means that investment which is mainly depend upon the profit motive of the enterprises or the level of income. So induced investment is that investment which is motivated by the profit level. If profit increases, then investment will increase. If profit falls, investment will fall. So induced investment always depends upon level of income, and it is always positively related with the level of income. If income rises, then investment will rise. If investment income falls, investment will falls. So it is called income elastic. And autonomous investment is that investment which is not related with the level of income. It has no concern with income. It is always remains independent, and it is income inelastic. Or in other words, we can say that it is not income elastic, or we use the word inelastic. It is income inelastic. Next is induced investment is generally done by private entrepreneurs because our economy is mixed economy, and here public sector and private sector both are coexist in it. When private sector invest money for the sake of profit and for making more income or profits, that will be called induced investment. And if investment is made by government, which main aim is to do social welfare, that will be called autonomous investment. Induced investment curve is always upward sloping curve or positively sloped curve. But autonomous investment curve is always a horizontal line which remains always parallel to the x-axis because it is income inelastic. That's why curve will be horizontal line. And induced investment curve is always upward sloping line because positive, it shows positive relationship between investment and the level of income. So this is the basic difference between induced and autonomous investment, which play very important role in our economy. Next is What are the determinants of investment? Investment, as you know, that play very important role for the growth and development of the country, and there are mainly two factors on which investment depends. And these two factors are, one is marginal efficiency of capital. In short, we say that MEC. MEC is marginal efficiency of capital. It is associated with the real investment, not with the financial investment. And second point on which investment depends, that is rate of interest. If rate of interest increases, then people will save more in banks and invest less. And if rate of interest falls, then people will invest more and save less. So our investment depends upon rate of interest and MEC. MEC is marginal efficiency of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital has also two determinants. One is prospective yield of the capital asset and other is supply price of the capital asset. First is expected yield or prospective yield of the capital asset. Any business entrepreneur or any person who is making investment decision, when a person take investment decision, he will definitely see what he will expect in future, how much money he will get in future after investing the money on fixed capital assets. If we expect that we will earn more asset or more money in future, then definitely we will invest our money in that project. But if prospective yield is less, then we will not invest our money in fixed capital asset. So marginal efficiency of capital depends upon prospective yield of the capital asset and supply price of the capital asset. And prospective yields tells us that what amount or what profit we will get after investing our money in fixed capital assets in future. And supply price of the capital asset is called the actual or at present at that price on which we purchase any fixed capital asset, that is called supply price of the capital asset. Marginal efficiency of capital is the rate at which we can equate the value of prospective yield of the capital asset and supply price of the capital asset. In other words, we can say that MEC is the rate of discount at which prospective yield or expected return of the capital asset and supply price of capital asset are equal. If the value of MEC is high, more capital will be invested. And if value of MEC is low, then less capital will be invested. So these are the two determinants of investment or private investment. One is marginal efficiency of capital and other is rate of interest. MEC has also two determinants. One is prospective yield of the capital asset and other is supply price of the capital asset. Next is investment curve is always downward falls, investment increases. If there is an inverse relationship between interest rate and investment, then curve will be downward sloping and its slope is negative and diagram will be downward from left to right. So this is investment curve which remains always downward sloping curve due to inverse relationship between interest rate and planned investment. Next is, what is the difference between marginal efficiency of capital and marginal efficiency of investment? In short, we say that MEC and MEI, what is the basic difference between both these concepts? Marginal efficiency of capital is based on a given supply price of capital asset. And marginal efficiency of investment is based on the induced change in the price due to the change in demand for capital. If our demand increases, then marginal efficiency of investment will increase. It is based on induced change. Induced is motivated or positively related with the price. And price is always related, demand is always related with price inversely. Next is marginal efficiency of capital. Second point is it represents the rate of return on all successive units of capital without regard to existing capital. It means MEC shows prospective yield of the capital asset and MEI shows the prospective yield of the capital asset, but that asset should be existing asset. But under MEC, that capital asset should not be only existing capital. And next point is the difference of MEC and MEI. The third point is MEC, the capital stock is taken on the x-axis. While we draw MEC curve, then capital stock we will take on x-axis. And while we draw MEI curve, the amount of investment is taken on the x-axis. MEC is a stock concept and MEI is a flow concept. Stock concept is that concept which is related with particular point of time, and flow concept is that concept which is related with period of time. Next, MEC determines the optimum level of capital stock in an economy at each level of interest rate. And MEI determines the net investment of the economy at each interest rate given the capital stock. The basic difference between MEC and MEI is that MEC has two determinants. One is prospective yield of the capital asset and second is supply price of the capital asset. But MEI, marginal efficiency of investment, shows induced change in the price due to the change in demand. And it shows the rate of return on just those units of capital asset over and above the existing capital stock. But MEC shows the rate of return on all each successive units of capital without existing capital, without regard to existing capital. Under this, we will not take existing capital, MEC may, but in MEI, we will take capital stock, existing capital stock. MEI is a flow concept, but MEC is a stock concept. When we draw MEC curve, then we will take capital stock on x-axis, and when we draw MEI curve, then amount of investment we will take on x-axis. So this is the basic difference. Next is the concept of investment multiplier. The previous topic was investment function, which now you have done. Now next is investment multiplier. It is also related with investment. So investment multiplier, this concept was firstly developed by Professor Keynes. And it is based on the concept of marginal propensity to consume. What is the meaning of multiplier? Multiplier shows multiple effects or multiple change in any variable. But Keynes developed this concept as an investment multiplier. Keynes said that if we invest our money in fixed capital asset, that then income will increase multiply, or income will generate in larger amount than investment. That is called investment multiplier. But first of all, this concept was introduced by R.F. Kahan as an employment multiplier. He gave the concept of multiplier as an employment multiplier. Because if we give employment to any person, he will earn income, and forever he will earn that income in at that time period of their life when he got retirement. He will be in service. If he will be in service in 30 years, then he will earn income. After getting one time employment, he will earn income for 30 years, and after that he will take retirement pension. So one time employment increase the income of that person multiply. That is called employment multiplier. Same as if we invest our money in fixed capital assets and in any business enterprises, then we will earn income multiply. That is investment multiplier. For example, Dhirubhai Ambani invest their money in their business enterprises only 10,000 rupees. But at present, their business is multiply extended and earning multiply income and generating more employment, more income, more production, and this is called multiplier effect or investment multiplier. So, multiplier or investment multiplier is a concept which is mainly developed by J.M. Keynes, and it is related with marginal propensity to consume. If our marginal propensity to consume is higher, then multiplier will be higher. If MPC is lower, then multiplier will be lower. And multiplier generally shows multiple change or multiple effect in any variable. But investment multiplier shows the ratio of change in income due to change in investment. Multiplier expresses the relationship between an initial increase in an investment and the final increment in aggregate income. Whenever an investment is made in the economy, it leads to increase in aggregate income, not only by amount of investment, but by somewhat more than that. If we invest 100 crore rupees and if our money income generate 200 crore rupees, it means income increases 2 times than investment. And if income increases 500 crore rupees, it means by investing 100 crore rupees, then it will be called 5 times increase in income due to initial increase in investment. The reason is that the initial investment increases the income, not only in those industries where the investment is made, but also in certain other industries whose products are demanded by people employed in investment industries. So this is the concept of investment multiplier. Now, what is the definition of multiplier? Multiplier can be defined that it is the ratio of the change in national income due to the change in investment. If investment increases, then multiplier, due to this multiplier effect, income will also increase. So multiplier shows the ratio of change in income or delta Y divided by delta I. Here delta Y is change in income and delta I is change in investment. and multiplier is denoted by K. Gains denoted multiplier by K. K is multiplier or investment multiplier, and it can be calculated by using the formula of delta Y upon delta I. Here delta Y is change in income and delta I is change in investment. Next is the features of multiplier or characteristics of multiplier. What are the main features or characteristics of multiplier? Multiplier mainly shows multiple effect or multiple change in any variable. Either it may be employment multiplier, it may be investment multiplier, it may be tax multiplier, it may be government spending multiplier, it may be foreign trade multiplier. Multiplier has so many kinds, so many types. So multiplier mainly shows multiple change or multiple effect in any variable. It may be either anything. It may be either investment or government spending, taxes, foreign trade, etc. In first topic, the feature of multiplier in this aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is the summation of consumption demand, investment demand, and we can write aggregate demand in this form: Y is equals to C plus I. Here C is consumption and I is investment. Aggregate demand, that is the investment and consumption, cause the multiplier effect. Economics generally associate multiplier with change in investment. However, change in consumption or change in government expenditure or change in exports can have the same effect. If consumption increases, then income will definitely change. If government expenditure increases, then income will definitely change by multiplier effect. And if our exports increases, then income will also increase by multiply. So all these concepts can be used in multiplier. Multiplier works in both the directions, forward and backward. Or in other words, we can say that multiplier can work in two ways, positive or in negative way. If we invest money in business enterprises, then income will increase multiply. And if we don't invest our money in business enterprises, then income will fall multiply. So multiplier can work in both directions. Either it may be forward or it may be backward, or it may be positive, or in other words we can say that it may be negative. There is a positive relationship between MPC and multiplier, but there is an inverse relationship between MPS and size of multiplier. Multiplier size mainly depends upon marginal propensity to consume. Higher will be the MPC, higher will be the multiplier. Lower will be the MPC, lower will be the multiplier. But multiplier is inversely related with marginal propensity to save. If MPS increases, then multiplier will fall. And if MPS falls, then multiplier will rise. The main reason behind this is if we consume more, it means if our consumption is increases and if our demand is increases, then producer will motivate to produce more goods and services. In this case, production will increase, investment will increase, and income will increase multiply. So if consumption increases, then multiplier will work positively or work forward. And if saving increases, as you know that saving is that part of our money income which is not spent on consumption. If saving increases, it means we are spending less on consumption and saving more. In this case, consumption will fall, then production will fall, investment will fall. In this case, income will definitely fall, and income will fall multiply. That function will be called backward function or direction of the multiplier. So multiplier can work in both the directions, forward and backward. If investment increases due to increase in consumption expenditure, then income will increase multiply. And if investment falls due to increase in savings and reduction in consumption expenditure, then income will fall multiply. That will be called backward direction of the multiplier. So MPS and multiplier are inversely related, but MPC and multiplier is positively related. Multiplier effect can operate continuously only if there are continuous and autonomous changes in expenditures in the economy. Because is denoted by K and its formula is delta Y upon delta I. Change in income due to change in investment. It has other formulas also. One is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. We can calculate multiplier with the help of this formula 1 upon 1 minus MPC. This MPC is marginal propensity to consume. And as we know that 1 minus MPC, in previous session, we have studied about what is the relationship between MPC and MPS. The summation of MPC and MPS is always equals to 1. So if 1 minus MPC is, it will be equals to MPS. So multiplier can be calculated by using these three formulas. One is delta Y upon delta I, second is 1 upon 1 minus MPC, and third is 1 upon MPS. Next is working process of multiplier. How multiplier works and how we can generate more income after investing limited money in business enterprises. In this example, we are taking period like 1, 2, 3, 4. These are different time periods because income will change multiply due to change in investment, but not immediately. If we invest our money at present, then definitely our income will rise in future. But it may take time like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, or so much years. So if we are taking here change in investment is 100 crore rupees, then change in income will be 100. And if we have given MPC is 0.5, it means half of the money income we are spending on consumption. Here we are taking MPC is 0.5 and change in investment we are taking that is delta I is 100 crore rupees. If MPC is 0.5, then income will change 1 upon, we can calculate first of all K, 1 upon 1 minus MPC, 1 upon 1 minus 0.5, that will be equals to 1 upon 1 minus 0.5 means 0.5 will remain. 1 upon 0.5 means 2. It means income will increase by 2 times as change in investment. But the process how income will increase by 200 crore rupees after investing 100 crore rupees. So this is the basic working process of multiplier. In first column, we have taken periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Change in investment in second column, that is given 100 crore rupees. Change in income will be in first column or in first year, income will remain same 100 crore. Change in consumption is 50 because 0.5. MPC is, we assume that MPC is 0.5. So 0.5 multiplied by 100, then we will get 50. So change in consumption is 50 and change in saving is always calculated by using delta Y upon minus delta C. Income minus consumption is equals to saving, and if we want to get change in saving, then we will have to deduct change in income minus change in consumption. So change in saving will be 50. After that, its formula is first B into delta I. Here B is MPC and delta I is change in investment. If MPC is 0.5, so 0.5 into 100 will be equals to 50. And next formula is we use this formula 1 plus uh, b, first of all b delta I, then plus b square delta I plus b cube delta I, b4 delta I plus dash dash dash, we can take infinitive times. So if b into delta I is equals to 50, then b square into delta I will be 25. B square means 0.5 ka whole square. Whole square of 0.5 is 25.25, and if 0.25 is multiplied by 100, then we will get 25. And same as b cube, it means 0.5 multiply 0.5 multiply 0.5, 5 5s are 25, 25 5s are 125. So 125, 12, 125 0.125 multiplied by 100, then we will get 12.5. Or in other words, we can say that if consumption is 0.5, we can take half values of investment, like 100 ka half, 50, half of 50 is 25, 25 half is 12.5, half of 12.5 is 6.25, and half of 6.25 is 3.125, and so on. Same as change in saving, we can calculate delta y minus delta c. 50, 100 minus 50, 50, 50 minus 25, 25, 25 minus 12.5, 12.5, 12.5 minus 6.25, 6.25. So in this way, change in income will be 200 crore rupees, change in consumption will be 100, change in saving will be 100. This is the working process of multiplier. This is the diagram of multiplier. Multiplier, when multiplier works in a positive way, then we can show this multiplier effect with the help of this aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve. First of all, we will draw aggregate supply curve, which is a 45-degree line. It always remains 45-degree line because it shows positive relationship between income and aggregate expenditures or output. And aggregate demand always start from the y-axis, not from the origin. So aggregate demand curve is always start from y-axis because consumption can never be zero. And in aggregate demand, there are two components. One is C and other is I, C plus I. Where C plus I curve intersects AS curve, that even point is equilibrium point. First of all, equilibrium will be determined at even point and income level will be Y1. Now, if we want to show multiplier effect with the help of this diagram, then we will change aggregate demand. Because in aggregate demand, investment is included. Investment is a component of aggregate demand. Then we will change investment by delta I. Then this aggregate demand curve or this line will shift to the upward and new equilibrium point will be E2, where this new aggregate demand curve, which is C plus I plus delta I, intersects aggregate supply curve. That equilibrium point is E2. At this point, income level will increase from OY1 to OY2. So in this case, the gap between AD is showing change in investment, and the gap between income Y1 and Y2, this gap is showing delta Y. When income increases more than the increase in investment, that is called investment multiplier. And this diagram is showing that due to increase in investment, demand curve will increase and shifts to the upward, new equilibrium point will change and income will also increase, but income increases more than the increase in investment due to multiplier effect. Next is multiplier may be work in a positive way or in a negative way. So multiplier may be positive, may be called negative. When an initial increase in an income, when an initial increase in investment increases the level of income, that will be called positive multiplier. Or in other words, we can say that when an initial increase in an injections are those variables which increases the level of income, or a decrease in a leakage leads to a greater final increase in real GDP. That is called positive multiplier. And negative multiplier is when an initial increase in an in an injection or increase in a leakage, sorry, decrease आएगा, when an initial decrease in an injection or increase in an leakage leads to a fall in real GDP. In other words, we can say that if income increases due to increase in investment, that will be called positive multiplier. And if income falls due to fall in investment, that will be called negative multiplier. Next is types of multiplier. There are so many types of multiplier. One is tax multiplier, other is employment multiplier, which is given by R.F. Kahan, foreign trade multiplier, and investment multiplier, which we have discussed now. The multiplier effect is that effect which shows the multiple change in any variable due to initial change in spending or in any variable. Multiplier effect shows that an initial change in spending can cause a larger change in disposable income and output or GDP. Multiplier determines how much larger that change will be. So it measures the effect that any change in expenditure, either it may be change in government expenditure, it may be change in consumption expenditure, it may be change in investment expenditure or in exports, all will give effects on GDP. So this is called multiplier effect. Next is tax multiplier. How we can calculate tax multiplier? Tax, as you know, that tax is a compulsory payment which everyone has to give to the government. Multiplier, tax is a leakage. If tax rate increases, then our income will fall. So multiplier shows that multiple change or multiple fall in income due to increase in taxation rate. Multiplier can be calculated by taking this formula delta GDP or delta income, delta Y divided by delta T. Delta Y is change in income and delta T is change in tax. It is always smaller by than 1 than spending or investment multiplier. Tax multiplier, another formula is minus MPC upon MPS. If MPC is given 0.80, then we can use this formula 1 upon 1 minus MPC. 1 upon 1 minus MPC is 1 minus 0.80, that will be 0.20, and 0.20, if we cancel this point, then it will be 100 upon 20 and multiplier will be 5. So tax multiplier can be calculated by minus MPC upon MPS. Minus MPC is minus 0.80 divided by 5. Minus MPC divided by MPS, or we can write in this formula MPC into X. So it will be 4. Tax multiplier generally shows the change in income due to change in taxation. Next is government spending multiplier. Government spending is an injection and it will show increase in income due to increase in government spending. If government spending increases, then GDP will increase. If government spending falls, GDP will fall. So multiplier, government spending multiplier shows increase in or change in GDP divided by change in government spending. Its formula is 1 upon 1 minus MPC, and 1 minus MPC is always equals to MPS. Next is foreign trade multiplier. Foreign trade multiplier can be calculated by using this formula 1 upon MPS plus MPM. This MPS is marginal propensity to save and MPM is marginal propensity to import. If we take the summation of marginal propensity to save and marginal propensity to import, Multiplier is the reciprocal of this 1 upon MPS plus MPM. This is foreign trade multiplier. If exports increases, then income will increase multiply, and if imports increases, then income will fall multiply. Some important leakages of the multiplier concept. Multiplier, as you know, that work in both directions, in a positive way or in a negative way. So some leakages are there which reduces the level of income. And these leakages are: number one is idle saving. This is idle saving or useless saving. If idle saving leads to this, idle saving means if you save money at your home and not using in any purpose, that will be called idle saving. If you save money in banks, then bank will use that money or that saving in investment form. And bank will invest money or give loans to the business enterprises. That saving will convert it into investment, and that will be show multiplier effect positively. But idle savings are those savings which are not used in consumption or which are not used in investment purpose. That saving is called idle saving. Idle saving leads to equivalent fall in marginal propensity to consume. It results into fall in the value of multiplier. As a matter of fact, higher the MPS, lower will be the multiplier. And lower the MPS will increase the investment multiplier. So there is a negative relationship between saving or MPS and multiplier. Second point, which is also the important leakages of multiplier, is purchases of government securities and shares. If government purchases shares or securities, it means that is financial investment. If we invest our money on financial assets like shares, bonds, debentures, etc., this part of income is not spent on consumer goods. And if consumption goods expenditures not increases, then multiplier will not work positively, and in this case flow of income will fall and multiplier will work negatively. Next is paying off old debts. It means if we are doing more imports from the rest of the world, if our imports increases, then we must have to pay the payment of these imports, and the income level of our country will fall. In this case, multiplier will not work efficiently and it will be called negative multiplier effect. Imports are also leakages. If imports increases, then payment goes to rest of the world. In this case, multiplier effect will be negative. And next point is excess stock of consumption goods. If we